Ladies and gentlemen,
ababenikwe ithuba
Jacob Zuma has officially entered his
lokuthi
"I was never the
baphathiswe
president" era.
baganga
It's a bold
ngalo
new frontier in political
baganga
denial, a
ngathi
masterclass in escaping the
basenza yonke
gravitational
into
pull
le.
of, well, reality. Wait. Us. Mr. Zuma, with all due respect, and you know how much respect you're about to get, are you suggesting you were merely a bystander during your near decade at the helm? Were you perhaps locked in the Nkandla chicken coop, only to be occasionally wheeled out for ceremonial greetings while some shadowy cabal ran the show? Because that's certainly not how the last 9 years felt to those of us paying the electricity bills, when there was electricity. Let's marinate in that for a moment, shall we? Those who were given a chance to rule the country. Now, I'm no constitutional law expert, but last time I checked, the chap who sang "I'm Shini Wami" with gusto at every opportunity was precisely one of those who were given that chance. In fact, he was the chief those. This isn't just a bad joke you'd hear at a slightly depressing break, it's an Olympic-level mental gymnastics performance. Simone Biles would be taking notes. Toyed with it, and they toyed with us. The sheer audacity is breathtaking. It's like watching a man set fire to his own house and then complain about the smoke. It's the political equivalent of ordering the most expensive champagne on someone else's tab and then lamenting the rising cost of living. Let's unpack why the statement isn't just misleading, it's a masterclass in denialism, a carefully constructed illusion designed to rewrite recent history faster than the ANC rewrites its deployment policies. The key to understanding this performance is the masterful use of the word "us." Zuma, the former president, the man who presided over a period of unprecedented looting and institutional decay, is attempting to cast himself as part of the oppressed masses. As if he wasn't the one holding the keys to the national treasury, occasionally misplacing them somewhere between Saxonwold and Dubai. This is the political equivalent of the arsonist returning to the scene of the crime and asking for a fireman's badge. Think about it, during his glorious tenure, we saw over 783 corruption charges stubbornly clinging to him like a bad rash. State capture. Estimated at a conservative $1.5 trillion vanished down a rabbit hole lined with Gupta-owned companies. Public trust in our once proud state-owned enterprises, Eskom, SAA, Transnet, evaporated faster than a glass of water in the kerosene. And let's not forget the small matter of the South African economy being downgraded to junk status, a label that's proven remarkably difficult to shake off, much like the lingering smell of scandal. Yet, here he stands, a victim. A man toyed with. It's a narrative so divorced from reality it's practically living in a parallel universe where load shedding is a myth and SA always served biltong and champagne. So, according to Mr. Zuma, the president of South Africa between 2009 and 2018 was apparently a ghost. A phantom figure who occupied the union buildings but wielded no actual power, made no actual decisions, and certainly bears no actual responsibility for the, shall we say, outcomes of that era. This disappearing act is crucial to his current narrative. He continually distances himself from the consequences of his own presidency. It's a feat of political Houdiniism. He was there, yet not there. In charge, yet somehow powerless. It's a paradox worthy of a philosophical debate, if the stakes weren't so tragically high for the rest of us who actually lived through it. Zuma has built a political brand out of being the perpetual victim of his own administration. It's a stroke of, well, something. Whether it's genius or sheer audacity is debatable, but it's certainly effective with a segment of the population who have their own legitimate grievances. He's stepping into that frustration, conveniently forgetting who might have contributed to it in the first place. Now, let's delve into the linguistic sleight of hand at play here. By saying, they toyed with us, Zuma cleverly collapses the distance between himself, the former head of state, and the public. It's a classic us versus them scenario, where he positions himself firmly on the side of the us, the downtrodden, the betrayed. This allows him to sidestep any personal scrutiny. After all, how can you blame someone who was also a victim? It's like a bank robber, caught red-handed with the loot, exclaiming, they robbed us blind, after emptying the vault himself. The logic is, well, it's not logical. It's emotionally manipulative. Zuma is not necessarily trying to rewrite history, that would require acknowledging a history to begin with. Instead, he's trying to blur it, to create a hazy narrative where he is just another disgruntled citizen shaking his fist at some nebulous they. Zoom in on the structural lack of accountability in this rhetoric. There is no admission of failure, no acknowledgement of any decisions made under his leadership that might have contributed to the current state of affairs. Instead, we get vague accusations against abstract forces, they, them, those in power. It's accountability by way of hand-waving. The only time Zuma acknowledges being in power, it seems, is when he talks about being targeted. Remember the constant cries of political conspiracy. Suddenly, he's the perennial target, never the one holding the target. And this, my friends, is deeply embedded in a certain, let's call it culture, within the ruling party. A culture where accountability is a foreign concept, where you can burn the house down, then return dressed as a firefighter, and still get clapped on the back for your service. In the ANC, it often seems, failure is an orphan, while success has many fathers, and former presidents who claim they were just bystanders. Now, while this might all seem laughable, and trust me, I'm getting a good chuckle out of the sheer audacity, it's crucial to understand why this statement is not just politically tone-deaf, but potentially dangerous. Zuma is positioning himself, again, as a revolutionary, an outsider, a man of the people fighting against some shadowy elite. But here's the kicker, the irony so thick you could spread it on toast, he ran the country for almost a decade. He was the establishment. He weaponizes victimhood to dodge responsibility. It's populism on steroids, a potent cocktail of grievance and historical revisionism. It allows him to tap into the very real frustrations of many South Africans who feel let down, but redirects that anger away from the very people who might bear the most responsibility. Let's connect the dots, shall we? You're sitting in the dark during load shedding. Trace some of those roots back to questionable energy decisions and state capture during the Zuma era. Feeling the pinch of corruption fatigue. That wasn't exactly invented yesterday, it was normalized, even industrialized, during his tenure. Public mistrust in politics so high it could clear a stadium. Fueled, in no small part, by this very kind of evasiveness and lack of accountability. So, if the country was indeed toyed with, then Jacob Zuma was either the toy master, or, at the very least, the one who enthusiastically sold the toys to the Guptas and their cronies. To claim otherwise is not just disingenuous, it's an insult to the intelligence of every South African who has had to live with the consequences. Jacob Zuma doesn't want justice, he wants amnesia. He doesn't want accountability, he wants applause for somehow surviving accountability. He wants to rewrite his legacy not with truth and reconciliation, but with a convenient and utterly unbelievable narrative of victimhood. South Africans, we must remember, power without memory is a dictatorship waiting to happen. Don't let political amnesia become national policy.